I'll come and check it after. All right. On page 14, let's take a look at your warm-up. Shh, and let's check this. So on this problem here, this is about the average of money of all cash deposits. Okay, the average money of all cash deposits at this particular bank or whatever it's talking about. So I said mu equals average money of all these types of cash deposits.
That's the average of all cash deposits?
That's average money. Go ahead and say money. Average money of all cash deposits is fine. Now, what did you have to do with those items there? You had to go put them into list 1, and then you went and calc 1 variable stats. So when you did stat calc 1 variable stats, the things that it gives you that you need is the sample mean and the sample standard deviation. The sample mean and the sample standard deviation. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to now put this into my calculator. Or no, I've got these numbers. Mu is 200. My null hypothesis, of course, is mu is 200, and my alternative is mu is less than, because it wonders if it is less than. Okay, 200. So I put these in. There are 20 pieces of data, so therefore the degrees of freedom is 19. I go and I put this to find the t-score, and the formula will be there on your warm-up just like that, or on your quiz just like that. You don't have to have that formula memorized. And so that's negative 2.41.
On that, can you round? Because I rounded after that, it was 2.417, and I rounded to 2.42.
Oh, was it? 2.4. Okay.
So is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you have a little bit different rounding here, then you might have a little bit different rounding here also. So if you're 100ths or so off, it's fine. I can see your work, so I can see that you did the process correctly. All right, so when we do this, you TCDF, because it is a less than, I am TCDFing from negative 99 up to that, comma, 19 degrees of freedom. So I've got 0.013. This is your p-value. All right, now, I saw a lot of people leaving this off, so let's have a little discussion about this. Okay? This is your p-value, but we just write it in percents. So this x bar here, and then this sign is the same thing as your alternative, so it's the probability of getting this sample or something more extreme. Well, since this is talking about less than, more extreme is less than. And then, see, this is x bars, so I'm putting this x bar number right there. Correct. The same symbol on the HA goes there, and this same x bar number goes here. Okay? So then, this number comes from this is the p-value in decimal form. This is the p-value in decimal form. And this is the p-value in percent form. How did I go from decimal form to percent form? I moved the decimal twice, and that got my p-value decimal into percent. So that's what you're going to write up here. Okay, so there's that. Now let's move on to the next. The top, you write your p-value. That is, again, always in decimal form, so you compare it to alpha, which is a decimal. That number is less than. See, 0.013 is a number that is less than 0.05. Okay, and I got issues with this because I've graded just a couple of the problems on the test, and I can see that people don't know which numbers are less than. This is 0.013. This is 0.05, and if you did it to 3 decimal places, it's like comparing 13 to 50. 13 thousandths to 50 thousandths, and 13's less than 50 last time I checked. So we reject HO. There's evidence that the average money of all cash deposits is less than $200. Okay, number 2. Now, here's the deal that I've noticed on the test also. or when I've seen you guys do these problems. You've got to make sure that you have the correct subgroup listed. So, for example, this one is wondering if retired, look at this statement here, do retired adults who are daily smokers smoke less than the general population? So they gave you the number for the whole population, and they wonder if retired is the same or not. The same or less. So I'm going to make a statement about the average number of cigarettes smoked per day by the retired population of adults. Yes, if you do not have by retired adults, then it's not correct. Because I'm going to make a claim about retired and see if it's the same as everybody.
It just says daily smokers. A daily smoker.
Why does this? Is there sufficient evidence at the .01 level of significance to conclude that retired adults who are daily smokers smoke less than the general population who are daily smokers? Okay? All right. So our null hypothesis is that the average is 18.1. Our alternative is less. They wanted to see if it's less than. So we were able to go and put all of those things directly into our calculator because it gave us those numbers. So let's examine this right here. Do you see this sign? How did I know it was a less than? Because the HA. Do you see this number? Why is it 16.8? Because that's what the X bar is. Okay, I should have filled it in here. I'll go back and put that in there. Okay, N was 40, degrees of freedom 39. I fill this in. It's a less than, so I'm doing negative 99 to negative 1.76, comma, degrees of freedom. That's 0.043. So what's this over here supposed to be? Good. If the decimal p-value in decimal form, 0.043, and so then okay. So yeah, I have it wrong on my answer key. You're ahead of me. Yeah. Now see, look, I was getting on to y'all for doing all the signs wrong, and then I messed it up. So listen up. Shh. 0.043 is greater than an alpha of 0.01. I can tell you why I probably missed it is because alpha is usually 0.05, and so I was probably thinking that, but obviously I made a mistake there. So it should be that 0.043 is greater than 0.01 because that's what significance level they said to use. So if it's greater than, then I should fail to reject HO. Don't forget to put the HO here. I take off a point if you don't put that on your papers. So if I fail to reject, then there is not evidence that to suggest that the retired adults smoke less cigarettes than the average U.S. adults. Okay? All right. So there is the warm-up. Now we will quiz Chapter 23.